whole bottle of Keflex. And he's like, what's he on this? And Chris goes, that's for his foot.
Hi, guys.
Talking about feet.
We're talking about feet and antibiotics. Don't you just love it? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Our Turf Football Podcast. So big we had to come at you on a Monday, you guys. Monday. It's me, Sonia, Mom23RN. I've got Lisa at LJ1303. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. And that's why we had to come on early, because we got a lot to talk about. But before we get into all the fun stuff that happened this past weekend, we got to thank our sponsors, Donkeys. Straight out of Camden.
Yeah, look at
Straight out of Camden. Donkey's
Mount
Place.
Mount Holly rocks too, boy. Woo, that Mount Holly spot.
Yep, Mount Holly, Medford, Camden. You got to go. And if you can't go, guess what? You can get it delivered to you. If you only if you live in the 48 states. Okay. Sorry about our friends overseas, but yeah, only if you live in the 48 states. You hit goldbelly.com, search for Donkey's Place, get a delicious cheesesteak delivered right to your door. Thank you, Donkeys. We appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely.
So Lisa's wearing her all about the U, whatever.
ACC, baby. ACC got snubbed. Woo!
ACC got snubbed this week. So first we're going to get into this college playoff thing.
Right.
I know we normally don't do college on this show, but, we're going to foray into college a little bit more because, sometimes it is a little bit more fun than the NFL, especially when we're kind of in the middle of the season with the NFL. Right. So, plus, next week, I get to go to the Celebration Bowl and represent us, our turf football at the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. I'm so excited about that.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. We got Howard University playing FAMU, Florida A&M University.
Yeah, so, we're going to be enemies. We're going to have some Florida people going on there.
Yep, going to have some Florida people going on. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to get to see some of the players, interview some guys over there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to be able to go to Radio Row, so I'll get some interviews done. So, and I'll come back and talk to you guys about that. It's going to be really a lot of fun. Awesome. I can't wait.
Very excited for you. That's, very excited for our turf. I mean, we're getting in. We've been in the college. I think we're going to start bringing you guys a lot more coverage of some college ball. And so we're excited to jump in,
Oh, for sure.
Feet first here.
Yep, feet first. So let's talk about it. College football playoff. Michigan is number one.
It's good to be a Michigan Wolverine.
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. You got who? Washington as number 2, Texas number 3, and Alabama number 4. Who's missing? Florida State, 13-0 Florida State, ACC champion, Florida State. Lisa, how do you feel about that?
I'm a Cane, and the thing about me is I'll still stick up for teams that deserve it. And when it came out, I felt bad, and like I said, when Bama fell to Georgia, immediately the debate started. You got the Ohio State people in there. You got everybody started kind of panicking a little. I was very surprised that Georgia fell right out. I'm like, okay, this was their only loss, was in an SEC championship game.
Right.
So, so I was just really surprised because when the talk started, it was almost a lot of people knew that FSU would probably fall out just because of the situation and stuff like that. And honestly, the bias for the SEC, they want SEC teams in there. Because honestly, who doesn't? It's a tough, competitive conference.
Is it though? Really?
I think so. I think it is.
I want to say the top few teams are the ones that really are, right? And then the rest of it's kind of.
Right. But you're talking about major universities. You're talking about Alabama. You're talking about Florida. Let's throw Texas A&M. I mean, all these schools, and all these schools throw out top-rated NFL players. All of them. FSU,
they do.
Miami, Michigan, Ohio. I mean, these are some stout schools. For them to get snubbed because of a quarterback that got injured, I felt bad for Jordan Travis because he kind of took the blame. What I want to know, and this is what I understand all the talk. How did they stay in the top 5 this whole season if they were that bad or were rated number 55 during their strength, but yet the computers and the coaches polls all kept them in the top 5, even shoved them into the top 4. So that's what I want to know. So you take it out of, we're going to the AI conversation, because these are the computers that were throwing all these things out. I'm pretty sure I heard that. Then we take 12 men and stick them in a room. You're not going to tell me that SEC bias did not come out. Hell yes, it did.
Oh, it totally did.
It totally
but I like
did.
this question from Peter here.
Okay.
If you had a decision and FSU is in, then who gets out? Who's left out?
Well, I think at that point, Peter, any one of the teams that are at that loss, I still think Alabama's out. I think Georgia's better than Alabama.
I'll agree.
Alabama is, and we were talking about it today, and Alabama is a one play that the defender let the guy get behind him from 2 losses.
Yes. So much so. So true.
So, and they lost to a Texas team in Tuscaloosa by 2 scores. This was a team at the beginning of the season, they didn't even know who their quarterback was going to be. They struggled for the first 3 games coming out of the gate, kind of got things back together, then, played well, typical Alabama type football at the end, and just got Georgia. Those 2 teams just go at it. This is another. So to me, any one of those one team loss teams could have got out. Washington, Texas. I'm taking Texas out. I'm taking Washington. I mean, to me, FSU deserves to be in there. I don't think that they did their, you're not going to tell me that defense isn't a championship caliber defense.
It is.
Think they are.
And again, you have the Florida State team. They've been pretty much dominant all season. I think they had a couple of games towards the end that they were kind of iffy, but again, that was because they had the different quarterback. But they have been dominant, I would say, all season.
And to piggyback off Peter's question, the debate at that point, Peter, should be, okay, let's talk about which one team lost team should be out. We shouldn't even be talking about Florida State being out. They're
Agreed.
undefeated, for crying out loud. They won their championship game. They did everything with a 3rd-string quarterback. Mm-hmm. And probably would have had Rudemaker back for Tate back. I mean, he's going to be their quarterback going forward anyway. So I don't know. I just thought they got snubbed, and like I said, this system has a lot of flaws, and I think this weekend proved it. They just want the sexy game. They want the SEC in there. They want Bama in there. And it's sad. I mean, it's in 5 to 10 years, I don't know what we're going to be watching, and NFL included. Things are going downhill so rapidly. People are just stopped. They're not watching anymore. That's how ridiculous it's getting. I mean,
I think people are still watching. Obviously, they're still watching. It's $1 billion business, but I think the way that, like you said, the way we're going to look at it in 5 years is, especially college football, is going to be completely different. It's going to truly be the haves and the have-nots, and probably one giant conference, and I don't know, one giant powered, maybe 2 conferences possibly.
Right.
And now with this, I can see that the ACC might even just fall apart, kind of like the Pac-12 did.
The Pac-12, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, that an unforeseeable future. I mean, this just really rubbed me the wrong way. And like I said, it wasn't that I didn't expect it. I mean, Antoine and I went back and forth on Twitter yesterday about it, and he said the same thing. He said, I feel for them, but they're going to be out. And I was just hoping it wasn't true. I was hoping that everybody that always convinces me that defenses win championships would win out. But no.
You're right.
It's the sexy team. And the thing that's sad is you're not going to sit here and tell me that if Jordan hadn't gotten hurt and he was a Heisman finalist, that FSU wouldn't be playing playoffs right now. They would be. And that's what's sad. I would almost 99% guarantee you they'd be in the playoff system right now.
Oh, for sure.
So,
as a Washington native and a Husky fan, yes, I would have loved to watch Washington versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl. That's what a lot of us wanted. That's honestly what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that's what a lot of us really wanted, and I think that would have been a really fun game. But Michigan, Alabama is going to be very good. I know everybody's a little bit nervous, but I think, like you said, Alabama, they are kind of coming into their own right now, but it's going to be a good game, I think. I hope they at least score. But I think
it'll be a good game. I think all these games are good. I think all these teams in the top 5, 6 are good. But there's just explaining. I just want somebody to explain things to me. How did Georgia fall under Alabama? I mean, it just doesn't kind of make sense. It's almost like you almost want to lose early to win at the end. Because if you lose in the end, guess what? You're out.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But I think that only works if you're an SEC team or Ohio State.
Yeah. Because you Ohio State, there's still rumblings from Ohio State fans. They still think that, so you're going to hear it. But I just don't want to hear it from a team that's undefeated and won their conference. That's my whole gripe. If FSU had one loss, I'm like, okay, I'm right there. All right, let's debate. But my goodness, they're undefeated. So
agreed. So Knowles, we love you. That love might be a little bit
guys. I hate you one day a year.
Exactly. I was about to say that might be a little too strong of a word for Lisa right now, because But yeah, we feel for you, Florida State fan. We do. However, we're going to jump over back to the NFL now, because NFL. Lisa, the officiating has been really spectacularly crappy this year.
Spectacular is a good word.
Right?
I mean, last night, every single game, and they're getting highlighted now. And that's what's, with replay and the slow motions. And I think that all of us understand this game's fast. So you couldn't give me any amount of dollars to be out there doing what they're doing.
No way.
And honestly, I understand it. The game's fast, but some of these calls were the pass interference calls. I mean, like a year or two ago, we're talking about, we have no idea what a catch is. I have no idea what pass interference is anymore. I honestly really don't. To me, it's a 50-50 shot whether that flag's coming out.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's, and like you said, every single play, and I tweeted last night, Sonia, too, this funny part. Now the offensive linemen are starting to flail the arms and want flags. I'm like, come on.
You guys.
I mean, that is getting so tiring to me to watch. I just want to watch football. I don't want to watch
the flags all over the place.
I don't want to watch when the quarterback goes down on his knee and starts doing this. And now the linemen are like joining the Emmy nomination parties, throwing their arms up and acting like they're held when they got their hand on like this and they're like flailing like they're fish out of water being held. So it's getting crazy.
It's getting crazy. They are able to kind of fool in some regards, but also though, it's just, you're right. What is pass interference? What isn't? And I know there've been plenty of games this year where I've just been like, but y'all literally just called that this last game. What is going on? I don't get it. And I don't know if it's, I just don't know. I don't understand why. I think the biggest thing that really irks me is that it seems in a way that refereeing is not consistent and it's not accountable, I would say. I think it's fair to, evaluate at the end of a game or at the end of a week, what went right, what went wrong, what do we need to kind of keep a better eye on, things like that. I don't know if that happens on a regular basis, but I think that's it.
We don't know. I think that's the problem. As fans, we don't know. We kind of have an idea on how the scoring systems are. I mean, if you've got a good grade throughout the year, you get playoffs games, the best crew get the Super Bowl and so forth on that. But like you said, where's the accountability on like calls last night where you have a Hail Mary, you clearly see Kelsey get pushed in the back, that you're not playing the ball. You're pushing Kelsey out of the play.
Right.
Now I understand like Hail Marys are like almost a gimme. It's like, yeah, we're never going to throw a flag, but good Lord.
Right. If it's as blatant as that.
It's blatant, obvious. And then the one before where they should have been 1st and 10 at the 9. It should have been 1st and goal around that 9 or 10, because I'm sorry, that guy came, he was carrying him on his back before the ball even went. I just, like I said, it's just, and of course it doesn't help when they keep showing it over and over. And if you're pissed, you're upset. You're like, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're pissed off right now because they keep showing it and showing it and showing it.
Exactly.
And then they show the refs and
it's just no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. and then they bring on other refs that say the call's wrong. So that just gets everybody more riled up because they bring all the retired guys in and they're like, yeah, that should never have been called roughing the passer when he's still in the play. And I thought that was a beautiful, clean hit. He didn't lead with his head, didn't it? Patrick was a running quarterback.
Right.
And he, I don't get it. I don't. And like I said, I think if we are told that they're being held more accountable, it might ease up some. Like, you're going to, but I mean, how accountable are they being held? So
I don't think they are. Obviously, they're not being held. But, there are times when it's just so egregious that they'll make a statement after a game or something like that. But that's all. It's a statement. And I think the biggest thing, and thank goodness they truly haven't been super game altering, but I think that's where, if any accountability is to be had, it's if I think I remember seeing this stuff like after games where it's been kind of almost game altering. I think of the Saints Vikings playoff game a couple years ago where there was that one call or that no call
that no call. Yeah. And the thing is and when you're getting penalties, and then you don't get penalties, but then you get fined. It's like, okay, they're going back and obviously watching the players and finding the players. Why can't you do that with the refs? I mean, if you see a ref and he's standing right there and obviously the guy's getting horse collared or something, it's not a call. That's right in front of you.
Right.
So are these guys being judged like the players are being judged? Are they going back and look at game film? So, you missed that one. You missed that one. You missed that one. There was a media conference down in Miami with Mike Tannenbaum. And we were all sitting there and I asked Mike one time, because when I'm in the media box and then I'm analyzing the games and stuff like that, I always watch the general managers and stuff like that to kind of see what they're doing. Mike Tannenbaum was always constantly writing stuff. So it always perplexed me. Like, what do you write? What's he writing down? Is he writing the play down? So I asked him, I said, I watch you kind of on the sidelines. He started laughing. He goes, oh, you watch me? I said, yeah, because I watch you between the plays. He goes, yeah, I'm very much into the game. He goes, honestly, I'm not writing love letters to my wife. And so he said, basically what he's doing is writing plays down where he thinks there was a penalty or if there was a penalty called. And then he says he goes back in his office and sits and watches the play. And if it's something that he feels they look at, he writes them and sends it to the league to have it looked at to get an explanation.
Oh, that's good.
So I know a lot of that goes on to where they will, and everybody always laughs about the too bad letters, right? It's like, oh, we missed that call. We're sorry.
Exactly.
So
I mean, great, but what are you doing to fix that? What are we? Yeah.
Are we going into a league where we're going to start reviewing penalties? Are we going to start? Because didn't we do that like a couple years ago with the pass interference? Didn't we try to do that to where they could say, oh, well, no, that wasn't that was pass interference, and they throw the flag.
Right.
So,
exactly.
And that was like a total, like, let's get rid of that because that was just crazy. But it's almost like fans are screaming for it. You'll scream for it when it's against your team, but if it's not against your team, then you don't want it. So,
right. Exactly.
So,
plus, I mean, it's going to make the games go even longer if we have to review every single penalty. Yeah.
Every
single penalty. And they've gotten way more penalty happy in some cases. And so do you really need to? No, we don't need to review every single one. I think referees, we just need you to be more consistent.
And we
need you to play.
Let them play.
And let them play. And that's what I like. I like it when you can tell at the beginning of a game if they're going to let them play and kind of let it go. And I'm all for it. If it's an egregious foul or an egregious penalty, yes, call it. But let them play. Let them
Yeah.
play. That's what I like.
And you're always going to have the ref, even when we grew up playing sports, even when you play, you always get on the field and you'll see that umpire and you're like, you know what? He calls them close. Or, this is this, even baseball. This is the umpire. Oh, he calls balls way outside or strikes way outside. So you always kind of get, and I always wonder if the players know that. Like, this is a player, this ref hates me. He always calls pass interference on me. I always wonder in my head if the players are thinking that,
I saw a TikTok the other day. I want to say maybe even this morning. I'll send it to you for sure, but I'll tweet it out. But definitely it was Tyreek Hill. And he was talking with one of the refs at the beginning of the game. He was like, "Hey, OG, what's going on?" And the ref's like, "Hey, how you doing? We're going to have a good game." He was like, "But don't do the peace sign." He was like, "What? Why can't I?" He was like, "It's world peace." He's like, No. Don't make me make that decision. Don't do the peace sign. I don't want to have to make that decision. And Terry was like, okay. But it was cute. But it was like nice. Like you said, they kind of know who's going to call what.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Or he gives them a heads up. Like, if you do the peace sign, that pretty much I'm going to throw a flag on you. So,
exactly.
And like I said, that's a great thing. Cause I always wondered that, like, when you go on and you see the players and because I've seen it, especially with Aaron Rodgers, I've seen a lot of the umpires, refs, and sitting in the stadiums where they come up and they always want to say hi to him. They always want to say, and Marino was the same way. They would always talk to Marino, and I was always wondering, like, what are they saying? What are they saying? Are they like, are we going to call this today? Or so I always kind of always thought that was kind of cool, just to have a player mic'd up to see exactly what they were saying to them. Because they show it, of course, as they get upset. Oh yeah, this game was called fair, and you see the ref with his arm on one of the San Francisco 49ers players. Because, so that was a game that was, that game was chippy. I'm sorry that those two teams do not like each other, but there's not too many teams going to Philadelphia that they don't like. I mean, you had security guards getting ejected. You had, oh my goodness.
It was, like, that was ridiculous. Like, I get it. And I was at a bar and there was a loud Philly fan, and Greg was like, yeah, of course there's loud Philly fans. I was like, hey, I mean, overall, yes, they are rambunctious, they're loud, but they're overall, I thought, decent people. But wow, this was going down. The players were going down and getting into it last night.
Yeah. And you could hear it in the crowd. I mean, it was crazy as soon as that, and you almost think that would turn the momentum. But it didn't. The 49ers just kept the gas on. But, I mean, because I guess that Dom guy is very well known in Philly and stuff like that. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, when I forgot who was calling the plays, but the game. But they're just like, well, isn't that his job? And I'm looking at Amanda, and she said something to me. I was like, you know what? No. I don't think a staff player is supposed to touch a player or get involved in that. I think that's all umpires and refs and maybe some head coachings or something. But I was like, I don't think he was supposed to do that. And sure enough,
probably not.
Came out today that no, he wasn't. But the commentator said the same thing. He goes, well, isn't that his job? Well, not to
touch the players, at least the opposing team players. And it was a game, and I kind of like it when people like the rivalries and the grudges and stuff.
That's going to be one, boy.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. And I will say I was not expecting San Francisco to just come in and dominate like they did. I was not expecting that at all, but they did.
See, if we talk about them being the best team in the NFC, they're going to lose next week.
Exactly.
So let's beef it up a little bit. I don't know who they're playing, but it's funny. So, but like I said, it was a good game, and I think rivalries are good for the game. I really do. I think that sauciness is great. I love it.
I love the chippiness. I love it a lot.
I do too. The pushing and shoving. Let's go.
Exactly. Let's go. That's what it's all about. I mean, don't hurt each other. Don't kill each other.
Right. But I mean, it's, it's nice to let emotions go over a little bit and play the game and play hard. You certainly don't want to see injuries because of it, but a couple pushes, shoves in the face after the plays. I think that's good. I think it's good.
I was about to say that never hurt anybody. Now, did it? No, it didn't. It didn't. You know who else I saw play yesterday? And I was like, yes. The Texans, y'all. I am on the bandwagon.
You are on the bandwagon with the Texans.
I am on the Texans bandwagon, y'all. I'm joining. Let's go. Where do I sign up? Oh my goodness. CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, that's like me and Kate getting together and like having just the best shows ever. No, they are, wow, they're really good. Yeah, they are really good. I dig them.
They, like I said, that was a slam dunk pick for them with CJ. I mean, you know how I talked about him, how I love his swag. He has the it factor to him to me. Pro ready from the start. I thought this kid came in and just really took this team over, and the players responded to him. And I think that was what's huge. I think, when you do and he's always constantly going to be, the Bryce Young with me. And I did the same thing with Tua and Herbert. Remember that we're still doing that, where we're still kind of close. But to me, CJ's a miles ahead of Bryce Young. To me, it's a no brainer. I think the Panthers screwed up. They should have taken CJ Stroud. And I think they know that too. I told you that on that show. I think they do that. But you were funny. You said that from day one when we were talking on our prediction show that you think the Texans are going to make some noise. And boy, they're right in the mix of this.
Right in the mix. And you talk about CJ Stroud and how the players respond to him. And one of the defenders on the Broncos yesterday, I can't remember his name, Alexander, I think, came at him like straight on him and kind of chased him out of the pocket, almost sacked him, and start getting in its face afterwards. And then here come all the offensive linemen and stuff from Texas, the Texans offensive linemen, just like they have their quarterbacks back. Like there was no doubt about it. They were like, yup, that's our quarterback. Get away from our guy.
See, Dana, quarterbacks matter. Quarterbacks matter, baby.
Yes, they do. Quarterbacks do matter. We love our quarterbacks here. Man. Even when Dana's not here, we love our quarterbacks. And yes, Adams is coach of the year. I'm going to say he is coach of the year. I would say that it's really kind of between him and Dan Campbell. And
you got Dan's right there. Dan's
right there. But I might say Adams might one up him just a little bit because the Lions had expectations. I'm not going to lie. The Lions had expectations this year, and they were supposed to win the division, I think. And how they turned things around last year, I think that's how they come into the season this year with expectations. Adams had literally nothing, and I think that he was able to kind of build this and get this team motivated and get them to win and play together. And so I think he edges it out by just a little bit over Campbell. Not that Dan Campbell isn't doing good stuff, because he is. He's got those guys ready to play and motivated and believing. But I think Adams has shown that he is coach of the year this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the expectation thing is right on the mark, because I had him down. I was like, it's going to take him a little bit to get up to speed. So I certainly had Dan Campbell, like you said, let's see what the Lions can do with him. So that mentality right there, you hit right on the head to me, was that, if you want to say coach of the year, who deserves it? Dan's done a lot of work, but you got to understand, you look at some of these games. I mean, they had the Saints beaten good. Saints started coming back in that third, fourth quarter. I started watching that score a little bit, and I'm like, thinking about you, I'm like, oh, don't blow that lead there.
Yeah, please don't.
They had it handled, but I was kind of close. But I think like you said, I think the expectations of the Titans, he has exceeded what a lot of people say. So I got him down. I'd pencil him in right now.
Oh, for sure.
As far as, definitely.
For and sure. Good. And I think that does segue a little bit into our last little bit. Because we're talking about the Lions, and they beat the Saints, but you know who they lost to? Jordan Love and those daggone Packers.
Jordan Love, baby. You see me smile. You see me. I love me some love. I have loved this kid, and it's so funny, as Omar Kelly says it too, and we were talking about when he was coming out. I just, for some reason, I just love the way the kid plays. I love his moxie. I love it. Almost like a Friday Night Lights thing to me.
I'll agree.
And when you look at his consistency over the last couple of games, his quarterback rating from the midseason was like low 80s, got the 90s. He's up in the hundreds now. And to me, that's what you want to see. You want to see him continually get better and better. And I think he is. He a little slower than what I anticipated him. I honestly thought he would be a little bit more of a CJ Stroud. I thought he would come out the gate. He didn't come out the gate that great. But I think with the last couple of games, you're seeing him elevating that. I think the game's starting to come to him a little better. I think watching that game the other night, he was on fire. I mean, at one time he had like a quarterback rating of like 128, 130 or something like that. It was crazy. But I really, really enjoy watching him play. So, and I always have. I mean, like I said, I've been watching this kid since college.
Yeah, you have.
So kind of excited to see what the Packers can do, because that's going to tighten up that NFC. It's going to be enjoyable football coming down the stretch, because you can't knock the NFL what they've done the last couple of weeks. When you look at these games coming up, they're monsters for some of these teams.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure, honestly, and I didn't think that this was going to be as big a game as it was going to be, but coming up in a couple of weeks, you're going to have the Lions and the Cowboys. That's going to actually be a pretty good game. They go down to Dallas, and I think that's
And look at Dallas.
Yeah,
I can throw the same stuff they throw at the Dolphins. Who have the Cowboys beaten? They've beaten all teams that are under 500. Dolphins are the same way. But to me, I'm taking every win. Like they said, it's hard to win in this league. No matter the team's records, you still have to win the game. You still got to go out and execute. And these are all athletic men. So it's any given Sunday. But when you get down to these games that matter, this is the ones where you start seeing the separation. This is where you're going to see where the Lions are going against the Cowboys. This is where you're going to see the Dolphins are going up against the Bills and the Ravens. I mean, so this December is going to be some mad times for some of these teams, because you're going to start seeing separation. But
what do they call it? A December to remember?
Yeah, just enjoy the ride. Because all these wins, regardless of whether they're under 500 teams or not, they're still wins. They still count. They're still going to get you in the playoffs. And right now, that's where you need to be. Because in playoffs, everybody's 0-0, and that's when it's go time.
Exactly. And that's what's going to be fun. That's good. It's going to be a lot of fun watching down the stretch. And I'm looking to see what we got going. Oh, yeah. Next week, we got Eagles Cowboys. That's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a real good game, I think.
Yeah, so you guys got a meat schedule coming up. This is going to be your, this is where Dan will earn his respect right here in December. So
let's see. So they have the Bears. They're at Chicago. The Lions are at Chicago. Okay. And then they have the Broncos at home. They play the Vikings twice. And then
you still got the Vikings twice?
Yeah, we still have the Vikings twice.
God, you guys have, oh, wow.
So weird, right? And honestly, for a second, I'm not going to lie, for a second with Josh Dobbs, I was actually getting a little like, but he's kind of fallen off a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be okay. But I think I was going to pay a little bit more attention to those games and be a little bit more uptight about them. But we'll see. We finished the season at home with the Vikings, and then the game before that is the Cowboys, and we go to Dallas for that one. So
you're going to Dallas? Yeah. See, we got we got the Titans on Monday Night Football next week. We got the Titans on Monday night, and then we have the Jets at home. Then we have the Cowboys at home on Christmas Eve.
Ooh,
yeah. Then
that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, we got the Cowboys and the Dolphins Christmas Eve, and then we go to the Ravens New Year's Eve.
Oh wow!
And then we're home to the Bills, and that game right now is scheduled for January 7th, but it's a to be announced time and stuff. So
they might flex that game,
and that's what we said, and that's what everybody said, because when you look at the type of a game, that could be where these teams fall on our schedule, and compared to their schedule, that could be for the FC East Championship game.
It could be. Here you go. So, Peter has another question. Thank you, Peter, for watching and joining us on this Monday night. Yeah. When's your guy Archain taking over his RB1, his dynasty team?
I know he came on a little bit. I think he got a touchdown yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Late, they're being easy with him because of his knee. I don't think, Peter, honestly, I don't think his knee's 100%. So I would just kind of keep an eye on that. I would probably say you'll see some more limited action. Honestly, personally, from what I'm hearing, is they're going to kind of keep him limited a little bit until either the end of the season or the playoffs, because his knee is not 100%. You can definitely tell it. But they're no McDaniels and them are keeping it easy on him. So I would probably say the next couple weeks, I don't know if I would count on him a lot, but the kid is a baller. They said it's hard to keep him down in practice because he just wants to go. He wants back in there. They're trying to, it's like a racehorse. You got to try to hold him back to the final leg and then let him go. That's what I'll tell you about him.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I know he's coming on. I know that they said, like I said, he's hard to keep down because he's ready to go. And he's one of these young and upcoming guys that you don't want to rush him back. You don't want to give him, but like I said, I knew he did. I saw, I actually didn't get the game out here in the country, so I had to watch the stream and listen to the guys because I'm out here on my farm on the weekends.
On your farmer Lisa.
Yes.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I think we hit on everything. I think we hit on everything.
And this looks like it's going to be a good game. I know everybody out there is probably watching the game and hopefully it'll catch us on some replays. But I mean, it's 14-14. They're going back and forth. So we got 14-14 at the half.
It's a good game. Who do you need? You need the Bengals.
I need the Bengals. Yes. Okay. I want that first seed. I want a home game. So, I know it's still early, but you got to start. Every win counts. So if
every win counts, especially now.
Get a little help. I want some help. So
there you go. I hear you. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you sometime next week. Maybe on Monday. We don't know. We'll have to see. But
I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate y'all watching.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you doing this too. This works out great. Kate's on vacation, I think, next week. Dana should be back. But we're gonna have a great time. But
we'll all be here. Yep.
We'll all be here. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, donkeys. All that good stuff. So y'all be good. Have a good night. Go Bengals.